What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatter. So today we're going to discuss the Arsenal summer transfer window. Last season, Arsenal didn't do that well at the end of the season. They kind of fell off from the title challenge, and the season before that they fell off from the Champions League challenge. Now the reason for that is probably because they do not have the squad depth. So the table in front of you shows the lack of depth for Arsenal. You can see Aaron Ramsdale, Gabriel Magalhaes, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Ben White, and Granit Xhaka, Gabriel Martinelli. They all played. These 7 players played the majority of Arsenal's minutes in the Premier League. And of course they fell off. Of course this team's going to fall off at the end. They're going to be very tired. Man City managed to, throw Mahrez in there, get Grealish in and off the bench, Foden in. They had so much depth in their team. So naturally their players aren't as tired as the Arsenal players. Sure, they should have probably finished the league with the title from the position they were in, but it's Man City. It's the best team we've seen for many years, possibly ever. So yeah, that's a totally different discussion. The Arsenal team needs to increase the squad depth, and I think this summer what they're going to be needing to do, they're going to need to increase the squad depth, and they're also going to need to get the starting 11 up to another level. So the potential outgoings for Arsenal this summer: Granit Xhaka is rumoured to be leaving for £13 million. Now, Kieran Tierney was rumoured to be leaving to Newcastle, but now they actually think that Kieran Tierney is actually not going to leave. He's going to stay at Arsenal and provide competition for Zinchenko. Cedric's going to leave, and actually rumours are he's not going to leave on a free, but for a small fee. Balogun, he's either going to leave or stay. He doesn't want to get loaned out again, and my expectation is for him to leave, and Arsenal will want a big, sizable figure for that. Tavares, I think he'll leave. The rumours are getting stronger and stronger with Thomas Partey leaving now, and I'd expect him to go for no less than 40 million, possibly 50. Holding, I'd expect him to leave. Pepe, I'd expect him to leave. 22 million is just his value in Transfermarkt, so of course I just put that down there. I don't expect Arsenal to get that much money for him, possibly just release him. And then Pablo Mari, of course, he's already gone because there was some kind of clause in his contract at the team that he played for in Italy. I don't remember the name exactly. But yeah, they've paid 6 million for him. So all in all, that will give Arsenal about 150 million, 170 million, up and down, depending on who goes and who stays. Now, that amount of money, along with the fact that Arsenal have been rumoured to have about 200 million to spend already, would give Arsenal like a 300 million window. Do I expect Arsenal to go and spend 300 million in the window? No, but they've surprised me before. They've spent a lot more money recently than I thought they would possibly do. So, who could come in? The potential incomings, now these are guys that are kind of rumoured to be going to Arsenal. Now, Rice is thought to be very likely and very advanced, so today he's not been announced to be going to Arsenal, and there's rumours that Man City stepping in and stuff like that, but there's still, high chance of him coming to Arsenal. Now, Caicedo, less likely to come to Arsenal, but the rumours are still there. The interest is still there. They're focusing on Declan Rice. I think Caicedo would be a really good acquisition for Arsenal. Now, Kai Havertz is very likely to become an Arsenal player. Not yet confirmed at the recording of this video, but could be once it is released. Now, Romeo Lavia, he's another one that we're thinking about getting in for Arsenal. Now, Gundogan, he's free of charge because he's a free agent for Man City. Is he going to come to Arsenal? That remains to be seen. I mean, he has offers from Barcelona, from Man City themselves, and from the Saudi Arabia, league, whatever. And then, of course, there's Timothy Castagne, who is Arsenal's backup option for the right back position if they don't get their first choice, who could be Cancelo, it could be someone else. I just don't think Cancelo's coming in, so I'm just putting Castagne in there. What do Arsenal actually need, though? I mean, when you think about the Arsenal team and what they did last season, where they kind of trailed off, they really needed more in defence. When Saliba got injured and Tomiyasu got injured, Arsenal kind of really, really fell off. They just completely lost track of everything and just were conceding goals left, right, and centre. There were mistakes in midfield from Thomas Partey, from Martin Odegaard, from other players. So they need more, physicality, more defensive solidity. So of course, these positions need to be addressed. But they also need, I felt they became kind of stale going forward. Teams started to read them a lot better. You saw it in the Nottingham Forest game, you saw it in the Brighton game. Both of those games, the team just didn't create the chances needed to win. Now, if Tierney leaves, Arsenal will need a left back. They will need a right back who could possibly play centre back, or a right back who can also play left back, which is Castagne. They need a DM, and they need a creative midfielder, like a box to box type, and then they need a forward. Now, we're going to address all of these later in the video. So, if Arsenal were to go in and buy Declan Rice and Kai Havertz, the team would look like the one on the screen. You would have Aaron Ramsdale in goal, you would have Ben White, you would have Saliba, you would have Gabriel, you would have Zinchenko, the same team that basically finished this season. But instead of Thomas Partey in defensive midfield, you'd have Declan Rice. And then instead of Granit Xhaka, you'd have Kai Havertz. So, Martin Odegaard, Kai Havertz and Declan Rice would be the three in midfield, and then the same front three up top. Now, what Kai Havertz also gives you, and I think people have been laughing about the fact that Havertz could play that Granit Xhaka role. He could against smaller teams. I don't think he's going to be playing that Granit Xhaka role against bigger teams because it will leave Arsenal wide open. There's no chance that Mikel Arteta's going to leave Arsenal that open and that exposed defensively. But against the smaller teams who like to sit back and defend, having Havertz in that Xhaka role could possibly help us open the teams up. Now, on the other hand, another thing we need to discuss, Arteta has said himself in an interview that the roles in football are kind of outdated. Today you don't necessarily have an out-and-out 9. You don't have necessarily just a right winger who just inverts. There's always new roles and new names for the roles coming in. Now, just recently, inverted fullbacks who are coming in to become midfielders. Are they midfielders or are they fullbacks? We don't have to name them. Now, the Granit Xhaka role might not be a thing for Arsenal next season. There might be a new thing which is the Kai Havertz role. That just remains to be seen. We're going to have to see how that goes. Now, this one comes in if Ilkay Gundogan comes in. I think he wouldn't come in to be a bench option. I think he'd want to come in to be a starter in this Arsenal team. And this would leave Kai Havertz kind of the bench option, providing competition to Odegaard, Saka and Gabriel Jesus. I kind of like this team a lot because I think Gundogan is a proper player. He's a really good player. He could help Rice a little bit defensively. He could also, operate a lot in that midfield and allow Odegaard to bomb forward a little bit more. And then, of course, you can always bring on Kai Havertz if you need to. So this would allow Arsenal to have a little bit more squad depth. Now, the squad depth of the team, as you can see, in the attacking phase and in the midfield, you have at least 3 players everywhere. But in the defense, it's almost always 2 players except for the Saliba position. But the players that are backing Saliba up are White and Tomiyasu, who are also playing other positions. So if Zinchenko goes out of the team, he's injured, Tomiyasu needs to fit in left back. Yes, Kiwior could do that as well, but that would leave Gabriel open. So Tomiyasu goes into left back position, you suddenly just have White. So if Saliba goes out and Tomiyasu's filling in at left back, White has to come in. And then who's going to come in the right back? The new right back, that would be Castagne. So Arsenal really need to improve on their defensive squad depth. In the midfield part, with Havertz coming in, he can fit in the left 8, 10-ish player. Now as the 10 for Odegaard, yes, he can fit in that position. He can fit for Jesus as the false 9. And that would leave Jesus going into the right wing. I don't think they would want to play Havertz in the right wing because when he's done that for Chelsea, it's been really, really poor. It kind of shows on, what you can see on the screen kind of shows that Arsenal really need to think about the defence. So leaving the defensive options, just going all out on the midfield and the attack would be a huge mistake from Arsenal. So they really need to improve the defensive options. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I think they're going to sign a right back who can play centre back or right back, left back. They're going to sign a defender. Okay, I don't think Tierney's going to leave, so I don't think there's going to be a left back necessarily coming in. So a right back, centre back, someone like Simakan could come in. Maybe Jurriën Timber would be a nice option. I think it's going to be a 30-50 million defender who can actually come in and help along on the bench. Now in the midfield, I think Arsenal are actually going to go for Rice, and I hope they're going to go for Lavia. but this still could become Caicedo. I just don't see Arsenal spending the money on Caicedo when they spent it on Rice, and they're spending money on Havertz, and they still need a defender. I don't see them going in for Caicedo as much as I want him. Now, Lavia is a very good player who could come in and help Arsenal kind of just as the bench option for Rice, and then just learn from him, learn from Gundogan, learn from all these players, and just come in later as a future proper player there. Now, Gundogan, if he comes in on free, brilliant for the squad depth. If he doesn't, Arsenal really need to think about getting another player in instead of him. Now, Kai Havertz is then, of course, if Gundogan, Rice and Lavia come in, then Kai Havertz is clearly meant for the forward options to provide competition for Saka, Ødegaard and, Jesus. Now, how would that look? So, it would look like this. Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko in defense. Rice, Gundogan, Ødegaard in the midfield. Martinelli, Jesus and Saka up top. The subs would then be Turner, Kivior, the player that we bring in as the defender, Lavia, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Trossard and Ketia and Havertz. Now this would leave Fabio Vieira out of the squad. I think you could just loan him out. I think Lokonga's going to be loaned out as well. And there are some other players that are probably going to be moved on, like Rob Holding's going to be moved on, and there's a bunch of players there that are probably going to leave. Now, of course, this doesn't accommodate Kieran Tierney, so maybe he would just come in there, and then you could possibly see Nketiah being dropped out, or Kivior being dropped out, or possibly just they're not going to buy another player for, because Kivior can actually play right central midfielder. And Tierney can fill in for Gabriel, Tierney can fill in for Zinchenko, so maybe they won't go in for that defender. I think personally it's going to be a mistake for them not to go for that, but maybe it is what they're going to do. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I'll be back with another video very soon. Hoping to do a couple of these with a couple of different teams. If you want a certain team, suggest it in the comments below, and I'll go through the research and all the necessary works behind that. What do you think Arsenal's going to do in the summer? Tell me, and leave a comment about that. You can hit me up on Twitter, the Football Chatter. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoy everything you're doing in your summer vacations. I will see you next time. Bye bye.